We are back. Another week for the draft league. If you don't know, I choked really hard last week. Yeah, you know what? Even Keelix acknowledges it's my fault, but you know what? Also, he played well last week, so props to him. Like, I had the front foot, but he played his outs, and I did not. So, we mess up sometimes, and that's the way it goes. I think we're now sixth. I'll have to check later, but we're 4-3 now. Week 8's happening. We're facing Kevin, the Albuquerque Alakazams. So Kevin's team is Aegislash, Keldeo, Celebi, Arcanine, Toxtricity, Charizard, Avalog, Runerigus, Drampa, Female, and Deity, Ice-Q, I think that's how you say it, and Lapras. Just going through his team quickly. Aegislash, it can be physical special. It just has, King Shield and all the defensive moves that makes its bulk really impressive. And then once it's in blade form, its attack offenses are really impressive. So Mana, it's hard to prepare for, honestly, because you get both physical or special. Keldeo is a very strong special attacker, also very good speed and very good typing, water fighting. Gets Hydro Pump, Secret Sword. Can't use anything like Flip Turn just because it's like pre-DLC meta, but still a very good Mon. Celebi's, I think, one of my favorite Mons, actually. Just its versatility, and, it's a mythical. It gets Nasty Plot. It also gets Swords Dance, which is pretty interesting. Even though it doesn't get too many physical moves, it actually can run a physical set if need be. It can also be really defensive, Leech Seed, Recover, gets that kind of stuff. Arcanine's a very interesting Mon. It's very, I know it as a beginner's trap kind of Mon. Like, people like Arcanine. I'll say majestic. It's called the legendary Pokemon, and people like, I don't know, big dogs. Yeah, but Arcanine's not as good as people think it is, but this gen it's actually pretty good, Like, it can run its physical stats, like the usual. It can run its defensive stats, which is probably what it's most known for. Especially with heavy duty boots this generation, it doesn't take Stealth Rock. It also got Teleport, if I remember correctly. So that's actually a pretty interesting tech that it got this generation. I can understand why it's UU, and probably pretty good at it. I don't know. Toxtricity is a new Mon. It usually specs were Shift Gear, even though Shift Gear is kind of interesting on it just because it's definitely a special attacker. It doesn't want that +1 attack. But that +2 speed's really nice, and the new item Throat Spray really helps it out. And then Charizard. Charizard's another interesting Mon because it does feel like a beginner's trap, but especially this generation with heavy duty boots, it has some versatility, it has some usage because it doesn't have to take Stealth Rocks, and it can defog them away. It can Roost. It can go special. It can go physical. So there's a lot of sets for Charizard to run. Avalog is a huge physical wall. Like, even OU Avalog might see some usage just because of its massive bulk. And it can rapid spin away hazards, and it can toxic, and it can deal with physical hitters pretty effectively. Especially with the new body press, and I believe it gets that. And next we go on to Runerigus. It's like the new Cofagrigus. And it's a bit more. It's on the physical side instead of the special side, but it still has that massive physical defense that Cofagrigus has, and it also has that ground type. That's pretty interesting, and also its ability Wandering Spirit. It switches its ability once it's hit with the opposition, so that's kind of an interesting one, just because like Cofagrigus says Mummy, you always have Mummy unless like your ability is changed by the opponent. But with Runerigus, once you're hit, your ability actually changes. It's not like you give it away, but your ability also changes. So it's pretty cool. Drampa's an awesome Mon. Drampa is such a cool Mon in my opinion, and it's a huge special attacker. I think it got Calm Mind this generation. I'm not sure if it had it last generation, but it hits hard. Has really good moves for its stab, even though its stab combination might not be seen as ideal. Dragon normal, but it gets Hyper Voice. It gets Draco Meteor. It gets Flamethrower. I think so. It's a really cool Mon. A female Indeedee. I think that was a Mon actually I tried to pick up, but I knew Gorgeist was important, and then Kevin picked up Indeedee. Like, I can't do anything about that. But yeah, Indeedee, normal psychic. Difference between it and male, I think, is some stats. I think the moveset's the same, but it still gets a lot of moves. Psychic. Psychic and psychic terrain is pretty devastating. Like, it doesn't get expanding force because, as I said, pre-DLC, but it's still a very strong Mon in its own right. Without the DLC moves. Ice-Q is a funny little Mon just because, like, what's its ability? Ice Face, and then like it gets Belly Drum, and it gets like Icicle Spear, Icicle Crash, so it can be a pretty fun Mon to use, I guess. Lapras is actually a Mon Kevin has used a lot, and it's a pretty cool Mon, I think. in my opinion. Kevin has actually like a team I actually really like. Lapras has the massive HP block. Reminds me of Vaporeon a bit, except it has that ice typing, and maybe you want to run heavy duty boots, but you don't have to because it has more coverage than Vaporeon. Like I'm trying to think like Gen 1 meta. Like Lapras has like Thunderbolt. It has I think it also gets Dragon Dance, which is pretty funny because it's mainly for a special attacker, but I think it can run physical attacks if it wants to. Like it doesn't really have to. It's like me running physical Hydreigon. Like it's not something that you really have to run, but you can run. So yeah. So I'm gonna just this team build is not gonna be long, just because I'll say it up front that Kevin every week except week 1, so weeks 2 through 7, I've like looked back at the replays and he's brought the same team every time, and that team is Aegislash, Keldeo, Celebi, Zard, Runerigus, and Lapras. So like if he changes his team this week, good for him. But I'm actually kind of confident that he's going to bring the same 6. So I kind of just prepared for that 6. Like some backstory right now, it's Monday. No, not Monday. It's Wednesday actually. And like usually I'd be like probably prepping a bit more like today. I started team prep quite early just because I felt really bad after my loss against Helix. But I knew like I just had to bounce back and kind of started prepping early even before week 7 finished. Like I started prepping once my battle was done. I think Saturday evening. So we started prep early, so we kind of finished early, but we didn't do as much prep because like I'm kind of expecting him to bring the same team. And if he does, good for him. That's kind of like a fault on my end, but I'm just very confident. Like weeks 2 through 7, if you change something up now, especially with Kevin's record, I think he's 1-7, maybe 2-6. I want to say 2-6 just to be safe. But like, I feel like with that record, like trying to improve it, you might have wanted to change something by now. But yeah, it's to them their own. Like if I was in a position, I'd change my team. Maybe like he finds like the 6 he's running with is the most comfortable. Like maybe he just wants to switch movesets. But yeah, anyway, so we're kind of running like a pretty interesting team just because like I didn't try and prepare for a lot of mons. I just tried to prepare for the 6 specific mons. So it's kind of like there's a bit more, I guess, creativity I can go through, and I don't have to go for versatility in a sense. So we'll start off. So we're bringing a Bomb Snow for the first time this week. Let me shorten this. It grew a bit just because the Albuquerque Alakazams is a very long team name, so I kind of had to stretch things out in the sheet. So OBS treats it as bigger as well. So we're bringing a Bomb Snow for the first time, which is pretty interesting. We're bringing Auroravale Bomb Snow. I was first gonna kind of bring this back to Gen 4 because there's a set I really like. Like I once took a sample team where it was, I guess it was like Hail Stall, just because like no one really is immune to hail, while a lot of mons are immune to sandstorm. So it's kind of like an interesting take on Stall in Gen 4. And I had a Bomb Snow because that's the only hail set, right? I was running Special Defensive and running Leech Seed Protect. I think that's Sub as well. Might have not. It might have been like Woodhammer, Ice Shard, or something, or like maybe Giga Drain, Blizzard. But yeah, so I kind of went off that set, but I realized that Bomb Snow gets Auroravale this generation, so it's actually a pretty nice mon. It's a pretty nice thing to set up if I can. And so yeah, we're setting up Giga Drain. So Giga Drain's mainly for Keldeo, and I think this is going to be my main Lapras check because I can kind of switch in on it. I don't take much from the moves that I expect Kevin to bring on his Lapras. And I could Leech Seed it, I can Auroravale and then Leech Seed something, or I can Auroravale and switch out. And Protect's just there, maybe to just scout moves from like possible choice mons that are there. Like a Bomb Snow usually loses to a lot of mons in his team, but I think once I get up Auroravale, especially against something like Runerigus or Lapras, because they're slower mons, and my speed EVs right now are actually made to outspeed max speed modest Drampa, actually. So it's not like something like I can try and like speed tie Aegislash because those things usually run max speed. But I just decided to go for Drampa. There's like a few mons that I'll be slower than. Avalug's one of them. Maybe like new 0 speed Arcanine. I'm not sure about that. I don't think so, just because I feel like Arcanine's pretty fast. But yeah, just a mon that like against the right mons, I have a good chance of setting up a Auroravale, and then maybe some of my other mons can take advantage of that. Duosion. Duosion's actually coming for the first time. Duosion's just a nice little mon, just because it has that huge special attack stat, so it's kind of like it's a much worse Reuniclus. Like, Reuniclus is always much better, but it's a pretty interesting mon in its own right, especially for the PU metagame. And so I'm bringing, sorry for my back cracking, if you heard that. Just feeling stiff all of a sudden. Duosion, I'm bringing stored powered. So this is gonna be something huge especially under Auroraville. If I can get, I think, 2 Calm Minds, I think I OHKO Aegislash. I'm not sure. I'll have to check that calc again. I'm pretty sure it's 3 Calm Minds, but 2 Calm Minds get me pretty close. Maybe after like 2 turns of Hail. So this is a nice check for. It's a nice offense. It's a nice sweeper because I might get hit by Aegislash, but like I'll end up being fine through Auroraville. So yeah, Calm Mind, Acid Armor just to get the defense for Aegislash possibly. Calm Mind just for something like Keldeo or Celebi throwing off Leaf Storms, maybe even Charizard. And then Stored Power because it accumulates the boosts and I can release it. Magic Guard is his ability of choice. I was thinking Regenerator, but I realized Magic Guard is just so much better. Just like if I get burned or something from Runerigus having Will-O-Wisp, or if I get like Toxic by like an Arcanine. Yeah, 4 Speed EVs because I Speed tie Runerigus originally. So if I can get like the jump on that, that might be nice. Like if I hit a Store Power before it hits me with like a Shadow Claw. And yeah, I put special defense EV so I can survive 2 Hydro Pumps from Scarf Keldeo, I think. Not Specs. Kevin's Keldeo could be Specs, but I don't think he'll bring. I'm not sure if he'll bring Specs or not, but if he does bring Specs, then I'll know. With Duosion, like Duosion's gonna be like my secondary Keldeo check. So yeah. Anything else to declare for Devotion? I just put some special defense and put a rest in defense. One thing though that you have to I have to make sure is that even with like this kind of set and even with a Violite and Auroraville, if Aegislash crits Shadow Claw, I'm pretty much dead. Like that's just how crits work, I guess. It'll go through like screens. It'll go through boosts. So it's kind of like if like Aegislash hits me with a crit or Runerigus hits me with a crit, I might as well be dead. So it's kind of like I don't want this to be my last resort against Aegislash, but if it comes down to it, it'll have to come down to it. Next up, Gorgeist. We're being large this time just because I realized I wanted to get the speed jump on Aegislash, just because I feel like that's some mon that I kind of want to be careful of, just because I know it's a very threatening mon to my team. And so we're bringing large just for the speed boost, so we're sacrificing some HP. I was debating bringing normal, so I could sacrifice less speed. Trying to make sure I'm saying my words right. Yeah, so I'll gain more speed, but I'll sacrifice a lot of HP. Said that wrong like initially. So yeah, but I decided against. I just decided for large just to have that HP bulk, just because I know this is gonna be much more defensive on. So we're running Castleberry, which blocks Ghost type attacks one time. And then we're running Frisk. We're running an interesting set of Power Whip, Will-O-Wisp, Synthesis, Magic Coat. Magic Coat, for those who don't know, bounces back any non-damaging moves. So if someone throws like a Thunder Wave against you and you Magic Coated, your opponent will get paralyzed instead. I'm not sure. I think it has priority. I'm actually not sure. I might have to check that later, but I think it doesn't. I think it does, just because I feel like every time I've seen Magic Coat in playing game, like the opponent always goes first. So I think Magic Coat has priority, but I'm not sure. But yeah, so like if you look at my team right now, I don't have my Stealth Rockers. I don't have Cobalion and Gigalith, just because I didn't feel like they'd suit the 6 mons that Kevin will bring. But I'll explain that near the end. Well, I thought Magic Coat would be a nice tech. Like if I really want to lead this against Runerigus, like I'm probably gonna lead a Bomb Snow, but if I do lead Gorgeist, I can actually Magic Coat and then hopefully he'll Stealth Rock. Kevin will Stealth Rock, and then I can get the rocks on his side versus my side. Power Whip hits Keldeo. I think at the current attack investment, like just nice round numbers like this, outspeeds Aegislash and the rest of the EVs into attack. Power Whip does 99 min to Keldeo, so like almost always kill it. Will-O-Wisp is nice for Aegislash. Synthesis is nice to recover on Keldeo's Hydro Pumps. And the Sacred Sword wouldn't hit me. Nice against Celebi as well, like if it goes for Leaf Storm or something, like I can easily Synthesis up, Will-O-Wisp it. But against like something like Celebi, I'll probably switch on something like Corviknight. But yeah, it's a nice mon just for Keldeo. Vaporeon. Vaporeon's probably like my all-around check in this game because it checks Aegislash really well, like the physical sets especially. I think against the special sets I can kind of work around it, especially with Hydreigon. But yeah, Vaporeon, Scald, Haze, Wish, Protect. Haze is mainly for Aegislash. Like, it tries to Sword Stance up against me. Also against Celebi, if it tries to get greedy. I'm trying to think what else. Toxtricity, but Toxtricity probably will just hit me. Probably something like, trying to think. Probably mainly just Aegislash. Like I was mainly running Toxic for something like Celebi and Keldeo. I thought it doesn't hit Aegislash, and I might be in a bit more compromising position, so I went for Scald. Or I went for Haze, sorry. And Wish Protect, Wish to just wish around. Maybe like if I do get rocks up on my like if rocks do get up on my side, and I have to like play a bit of a long game, wishing up like a Bomb Stone would be really nice. And then yeah, Protect standard, and then Max Defense because this is actually a really good check to Keldeo as well, just because. Water Absorb blocks the water moves, and Sacred Sword hits on the defense, so having max defense will actually help me there. Then helps against physical Aegislash as well, and then like Zard. This will be really great against Zard as well. So a very simple beforehand set I'm bringing this week. Sorry, like my body's really hurting today. Like it's right now. Well, yeah, it's Wednesday. I'll say night. It's like 9. So I don't know why I feel so weird, but yeah. Corviknight, we're bringing an interesting set this week. I'm going to try rocking this out once. We're running Power Trip setup. So we have 2 setups. The second setup mod now. First was DiscORGs, now it's Corviknight. So if I can, so I just like was just because I'm bringing Veil, I thought, you know what, let me just try to have some fun. Let me try to run like a kooky, it's not a bad word, right? Kooky? I think it's like a clumsy, kind of like goofy, board. Anyways, yeah, Power Trip, Weakness Policy, Pressure, all those simple stuff. Like, Weakness Policy is just for Charizard. Like, if I can get, if I get, like, hit by, like, a Flamethrower or Flare Blitz from Charizard, like, under a Veil, like, my Weakness Policy activated, I can Agility up, and then maybe bulk up once and go for Power Trip. So, Max HP, Max Defense, just for Aegislash mainly, because I could bulk up on Aegislash as well, but, as the same thing I said about DiscORGs, like, Shadow Claw blocks or ignores boost. So I have to be careful there, but I hope like I can get like 2 Power Trips up and then like hit Aegislash. So that's what defense for. Speed is for after Agility. I outspeed Scarf Keldeo, which is probably the fastest thing on his team. Like I think I probably don't outspeed. I definitely don't outspeed Shift Gear Toxtricity, but I don't think he'll bring it. And especially with stuff like Hydreigon and Gourgeist, I can kind of switch around and kind of beat it. But yeah, this set might change before the game. Like, I'm not sure when I'm playing Kevin, but I wasn't sure about Weakness Policy just because I worry about Zard if it goes for like a Flamethrower or Fire Blast and it burns me, because Power Trip's a physical move. So if that burns me, my set's kind of ruined. So I'm debating Lumberry, honestly. I'll think about it. And then like I was debating going Drillpeck, just because getting hit by I can't really hit Keldeo Power Trip. I have to get like 5 bulk ups up to hit Keldeo properly. So I'm debating taking out Roost, or I might just ditch Agility and go for bulk up Drillpecks. We'll see. But then, like, if I ditch Agility, I might get rid of the Speed EVs, just because then I don't need to outspeed Keldeo per se. But yeah, we'll see. And last but not least, Hydreigon. So Hydreigon, this is also another soft Keldeo check, I guess, just because Water moves don't hit, and then we have the Travel Barrier for Sacred Sword. Sacred Sword or Secret Sword? I think it's Sacred Sword, because they're both moves. No, Secret Sword. Secret Sword. Let me look it up right now. I know it doesn't learn it, but Secret. Damn, it doesn't show up. Anyways, we'll see. Yeah, because it'll just say it's illegal. Anyways, so Dark Pulse, Draco Meteor, just no stab. Dark Pulse hits Aegislash, Draco Meteor hits Drampa if it comes. Draco Meteor hits everything else really. Strong hits Keldeo mainly because Dark Pulse hits everything else. Yeah, hits everything else. So Draco Meteor mainly for Keldeo, and then like U-turning out for momentum if I have to. Roost for longevity, like if I switch it to like a Celebi using Nasty Plot Leaf Storm, or like a Charizard with like Fire Blast, I can roost off that damage, then U-turn out the next turn. Speed is just to outspeed Arcanine, because I think his speed tiers go Keldeo, and then Zard, and then there's another 100 speed one, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. Celebi, that's what it is. Zard and Celebi hit 100 speed, Arcanine hits 95, and Hydreigon, as you know, hits 98. So I just outspeed the 95, I can't outspeed the 100s no matter what I try, even if it's, well, if it's modest, I can, but like, who knows? Anyways, yeah, that's the team. So, a really short one. Well, short one, and I say it's 20 minutes. So, mods I did bring Weezing. Weezing could have been nice against the team. Like, I brought Weezing against Vooper when he had Dual Blade. So, Weezing could maybe hit against Aegislash. But it has stance change, so my Fire Blast or Flamethrower doesn't hit as hard. Willows would have been nice, though, and it is a Defogger, would also been nice. Cobalion and Gigalith are kind of grouped together just because they both don't do well against his ghost types. Like, against regular ghost types, fine, but his ghost types both have second typings that aren't good. Like Cobalion can't hit Aegislash at all, except with like a Volt Switch. Can't hit Runerigus at all. Like Iron Head, sure, that's it. Gigalith, same position, basically. Like, it can't hit Runerigus at all. It can't Aegislash with like an Earthquake, but I get hit by Iron Head. So it's kind of like, maybe I should just play without rocks this game. Maybe just see how that goes. That was kind of my like thinking while going through the team. Like, I was like I know what Kevin usually like 90% of the time brings. Like, maybe I'll try and play without rocks. See if I can bring more Mons without having to sacrifice a Mon for rocks. So that's just kind of a mindset there. Snorlax would have been nice, but Secret Sword wasn't that looking that good for me. Like, getting hit by Secret Sword, getting hit by close combat by Aegislash, getting hit. Can't do much to Runeriga, especially with the high defense. So same thing with that. It's like Jacob's like the game with Jacob with Cofagrigus. Like, Snorlax can't do that much to like those kind of Pokemon. Even though it could do much like Aegislash, can't do much to like Keldeo. It can kind of hit Celebi hard. It could hit like Charizard a bit hard. Alolan Raichu was debatable, but you know, 2 Ghost types, a Ground type, you know, it doesn't really work out for Alolan Raichu. Ludicolo, well, that's actually the final mon, right? Yeah. 3 UU mons I'm not bringing. Pretty interesting. But Ludicolo could kind of hit stuff hard, you know, Aegislash, Keldeo gets kind of hit on by Celebi, and then Charizard if it has Air Slash, but I just didn't think it was a right week for it. You know, I could run like Veil and then set up Rain Dance. Like, that's pretty much that could be a strat, but I decided against it. Oh, and an interesting thing is, like, Abomasnow's set, like, I really heavily debated it, because I just kind of wanted to bring Abomasnow, like, one week, you know, like I said with Ludicolo and Duosion, I think. Might have been Duosion, but, like, I just kind of want to bring my Mons just to see, like, how they would function in, like, I guess, the draft league. And Abomasnow, you know, I was debating running Scarf, just because, like, get the jump on something like Aegislash, but, like, you know, something like Earth Power or Earthquake doesn't really hit really hard, so it doesn't really help me if I'm like faster or I hit harder. It wasn't interesting. I was debating running physical like Scarf just because it gets Rock Slide, so I was debating hitting Charizard that way, but I decided against it. Like, it's not really going to do much against Charizard, except that. So not really my ideal. But I wanted to bring a Abomasnow, so this is kind of the set, and Duosion just kind of fit on this team with the Aurora Veil. So yeah. I'll see you guys whenever the battle we have it. Hopefully it's tomorrow, but we'll see. Okay, we're live. I have a toothpick in my mouth. I just had lunch. Gonna challenge Kevin. Thing with Kevin, he kind of gave me mixed signals. I don't know how much time he has, so I don't know if he has to play quick or he has to go somewhere, because that's what it seemed like. He either had 20 minutes or he had to, what's it called? He had to, he could play. Anyway, so he didn't bring the same team as last time, which kind of scares me because he has the UU Mons. I don't have any of my Mons, but looking at it from face value, if I can get Duosion set up, I can win. Not having Keldeo is fantastic just because Hydreigon is the fastest Mon. I do have to be worried about Toxtricity though, so that's going to be interesting. I feel like he's going to lead Runerigus, so I might as well lead Abomasnow. I think I'm going to do that. Yep, Runerigus comes in. I have Abomasnow. I'm going to set up Auroraville. I think that's just my easiest play off the bat. I wish I had Blizzard in this game, but, you know, sometimes you can't help it. T-Spikes, that's interesting. I kind of want to go into Duosion right away, but... How much does my Corv do to Avalugg? Because Avalugg is going to be huge in this game. Not many of my team gets hit by T-Spikes, except my Walls, which is kind of sucky, but it happens. I'm going to Giga Drain here, I think, just because I want to see what he goes for. Probably Rocks. Yep. Then... Because he's not going to switch in Celebi on this, that's the thing. Celebi's not coming in on this. I'm going to Leech. Arc, yeah, see? I could go into Corv right away. Oh, I didn't change the item. I wanted to make it weakness, but I guess that's fine. We'll go into Vaporeon just because I have Veil up. I could also heal up any damage, especially he's Flamethrower, which is interesting. I could Scald. What comes in? Celebi. Not the end of the world for me. I might Wish. Well, let's Wish. Toxtricity comes in. Interesting. Just because I do have the Veil. I just gotta think of what I want to do. I'll go with Soren. Nothing should kill me through Veil. I wanted to check Avalok calcs. Toxed. Just our Overdrive. Is that Specs? Doesn't look Specs. Dragon. Overdrive. Yeah, it's not Specs. It's just like Scarf. This could be a Scarfer because I was expecting Scarpeldio, so I can Dark Pulse kind of freely here. Like nothing really takes a Dark Pulse. Avalok does not take a Dark Pulse. Exactly. I am going to kind of want to bluff Scarf, but I'm not sure. He's going to go for an Ice move. Just trying to think of what I want to do here. Corviknight's not a bad play. I might go Corv. Just because Avalok's weak. And this is probably like the only thing I really set up on, except Celebi. I'll go Corv. So we are going to bulk up once. If he burns me with Flamethrower, it's just like, rip. I'm not even really checking. Sorry, I've just been out of it like the past 24 hours, so I'm just kind of like, eh. What happens, happens, you know? What does he do? Toxic, but I'm Steel type. So this helps. Only thing is, Arcanine wasn't... It was Intimidate, okay. So I just have to be really careful here, I think. She might be Will-O-Wisp. That's what I'm expecting, I think. He recovered on me. I'll Power Trip once, see what he goes for. Iron Defense. Okay, he's Body Press. It's not the end of the world for me. Just because I have... Gorgeist. I'll go Will-O-Wisp here. That's a pretty interesting team because he has like just the heavy wall in Avalok, and as long as I get Avalok down in some way, it's fine. Because this is not really even that good for Toxtricity, just because it gets Sludge Wave. Throwing a Wisp here is kind of free. Probably think he might think I'm toxic, but I'm not. If he goes Aegislash, that's perfect. I Wisp. What's he go for? Body Press doesn't affect me. Yeah, so that's his only attacking move. So with because I'm not toxic, I'm only poisoned. I wall him. Kind of want to throw out another Wisp. I'm gonna see what he goes for. Switches out Arcanine. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe I should have synthesized, but that's fine. I will go Vaporeon just because I know now Gorgeist walls Avalok. It's kind of the same thing as a. I'm gonna Wish here. Sorry, I'm like really going through my thoughts pretty fast. I feel like this is Will-O-Wisp. That's the thing. Yeah, Toxicity comes in. I'm gonna assume this is Scarf and Protect. See what he locks himself into. Volt Switch. How much does that do to Vap? I'll say Scarf. Because I'm physically defensive. 469 to 55. I'm gonna Wish. Yeah, he's Scarf. Oh no, wait. He Specs. I live, but barely. Having just poison on my walls is fine though. And nothing really takes... What's it called? Nothing really wants to come in on... I've lost my train of thought. But yeah, anyways. Just my luck, you know. Just like it's not my luck. I just played this poorly. Oh, interesting. Just because I can Scald here, or I can Haze. Is Haze fine play? Yeah, just because I have this is fine. I think. I'm not gonna protect. Protecting is probably a bad play. Yeah. And Scald once. Hmm. What's my item? I should have Scalded. That was stupid. That was so obvious. Ironhead. That's interesting. Should have Shadow Clawed if you had it. And I burn. Which means... Can I let this go down? Kind of. Because I don't think this is close combat. It's probably Flamethrower, Will-O-Wisp. Oh, Wish. Yeah, that's fine. Because what do you do against this, basically? So it's the specs. Okay, that's good to know. I don't know what my calc was on the other thing. What was it? Overdrive? No, Boom Burst? What was it? Yeah, King Shield doesn't do anything, though. You just lose HP. Swords Dance Iron Hand, probably Shadow Ball or Shadow Claw. Overdrive on Hydreigon. Why did it do so little? That's weird. That's weird in my eyes. Yeah. Overdrive. Timid Scarf Overdrive does 25 to 30 to Hydreigon, but yet here it did 20. So that's what threw me off. Like, Volt Switch should apparently do 55. I don't know why you don't bring Keldeo when I have Hydreigon. That's my thing. Yeah, Celebi comes in, but what? What's it gonna do to me? What can Celebi do to me? Toxic? Like, I'll go into Corv. What do you do? Giga Drain? Yeah. I'm gonna roost off here. See what he... No. Well, agility. I just have juice on me. I had G Fuel, but okay, yeah. Is either he set up Nasty Plots, try to go for like Leaf Storm or stuff or something, or he goes into this. The thing is, Hydreigon's free. Not free because he's toxic. Shit. That's interesting. I think if this is Flamethrower, Duosian might have a chance here. I'm Dracoing. 100%. This goes down. That's perfect. Gourgeist's use goes down now. So if he brings in Arcanine, he brings in Runerigus. If he brings in Runerigus, actually, I go into a Bomb Snow. But if he brings Toxicity in, I sack Gourgeist. This is probably a game I will lose, I think. But I don't know. Celebi comes in. That's interesting. Because I can U-turn. He's not even fast? That's interesting. What do I want to sack then? So he's not fast. So literally Hydreigon, when he comes in next, kind of gets the kill. Do I want Rolf down or Void? I can go to... I think sacking this off is the right play. Go for Leaf Storm, and I miss, so not the end of the world for me. I can try to Synthesis up, but... Or... Oh, Will-O-Wisp. Or no, let me just attack. Doesn't matter, I die. How much did U-turn do? 58. Please tell me that's like a lower roll. I don't want to mess around with the rolls here too much. Let's say Nasty Plot versus Hydreigon. U-turn 56, okay, yeah. 56 is min. So I take rocks here. It's not the end of the world, just because I'm faster than everything, it seems like. Really weird. You must be modest, which I don't understand. But, hey, to them their own. Yep, that goes down, and then... I think I bring in Duosian, actually. Poison doesn't matter, a Magic Guard. I really didn't use a Bomb Snow or Duosian. I didn't use a Bomb Snow really effective while my dimensions are off. It's going to be off for this game. Let me see if I can fix it now, who knows. Oop. Oh, this comes in. I'm 1 point faster. Do I want to try setting up now? No, we'll go Rolf. This might be easier to stomach. What do you go for? Body press or Will-O-Wisp? That's interesting. He's reading him. He's trying to read me really hard, but I just got the poison, so it didn't even matter. I get Veil up here. Wisp doesn't matter, yeah. I Giga Drain, maybe knock this out. Then I could Leech Seed, Protect, Stall, whatever. Giga Drain comes out. Actually, I'll Leech Seed. Will probably knock me out. That's fine. Because I Calm Mind and win at this point. Calm Mind or Corv? I go down. I have 5 turns of Veil. I'm going Corv. And I'm agilitying up. Don't burn. Let's see if this kills. I don't think it will, but let's see if it kills. Arcanine, say Fizdef, Corv. +2. I could put +4 for special, for speed. Oh jeez, it's 2 at KO, so I have to roost up. Do I beat Toxed? Power Chip? Yeah, okay, so I will... Yeah, there's no point in me. Like, if I get burnt here, it's going to be a bit bad, but I think... Like, I don't die here. I die here to, like, a Volt Switch or anything. But I have Power Trip. Because I don't kill this in one. I need another setup. This is Specs, right? Like, I'm afraid if this is Scarf, I might... No, wait, no. Oh, he even went for Boom Burst. Yeah, he's Specs, that's why. He had to go for Boom... No! Yeah, he had to. Okay. Now save the replay. I'm being fruitful. I'm being honest just because, yeah, it's just like, after, like, you expect after 7 weeks that you try to switch up a team, but when you don't switch up a team, see, like, that's the thing. It's on me just because, like, in Draft League you should expect the same. You should try to cover all mons, but sometimes people bring like the same things, so you kind of expect what things are gonna be like. It's a 16-minute game. I'm just trying to see, like, I'll quickly go through the replay. I don't think anything really wrong happened. Abomasnow had less of a use just because Keldeo or Lapras didn't come. Like, Scarf Keldeo, if it locks into a water move, I can go into Abomasnow, set up a Rubber Veil or Leech Seed. I mean, Giga Drain here, that's fine. I really didn't expect T-Spice as well. That was really good. I just want to see if Kevin's posting it. Let's see. Yeah, he is. Okay. So yeah, interestingly enough, like, something to point out here is with Toxtricity, having Corv and Hydreigon kind of helped me beat Toxtricity in a sense, because unless it was shiftier, if it was choice specs, which I learned it was, although it was really weird with the Hydreigon damage, I might have to look back at that, but Hydreigon can't lock into one move that would hit both Corviknight and Hydreigon. Like, Boom Burst, like, Overdrive doesn't hit Hydreigon well, and I'll beat it in a 1v1. Boom Burst hits Hydreigon, doesn't hit Corviknight, and Sludge Wave doesn't hit Corviknight. So honestly, I think he played very... He did a lot of reads, which was actually really surprising to me. I wasn't expecting some of it. Like, some of it cost him, but I also understand it. Like, let's see, Flamethrower, like, that's fine. That was a fine read. Going into this is a really nice offensive move, just because I can't do much to this as Vaporeon. So I see what he goes for with the Wish. I Overdrive. Does 20%. Yeah, see, this does 20%. Like, I'm so confused right now. I'm thinking this was choice specs. Maybe it was a... What did a lot of damage to me? I'm going to look at... Maybe it was like a Magnet Silk Scarf or something. I don't know. But that's not as much of a boost. Dark Ball's this. This was really surprising just because I killed this. But I kind of wanted to set up. So that's kind of on my fault. I should have gotten rid of this right away. See, I go for a Bulk Up. It goes for Toxic, but I feel like he didn't know this was Steel type. I go for Partial just to see how much damage it does, and he goes for Iron Defense. That was really scary to me. Like, the Recover was smart on him. This was probably going down, so that's a misplay on my part, which, you know, it happens. Like, you saw my Week 7 game. Bulk Up happens. Toxic wouldn't have mattered. Although, Iron Defensing up is pretty huge, but then realizing that this has to be, like, a... If you Iron Defense up, it has to be Body Press. Like, you wouldn't run, like, Avalanche Iron Defense. It makes no sense. Just because Avalug's defense is so huge already, you want to run... I don't know, probably doesn't get an Amnesia, but yeah. Anyways, getting the poison on this was huge, though. Just because he couldn't Toxic me, and I could kind of stall it out. Just because Toxic does gradual damage over time, right? So, if I stayed in for, like, 10 turns, I would die to Toxic. But if I stayed in with Poison... I can recover off the poison damage, just because I won't reach like 30% taken from poison. I take 12% each turn. That was fine. Will-O-Wisping this didn't matter too much in the long run, but it was just nice to throw out a Wisp there. Like here, I should have used Synthesis. Oh my gosh, my speech is getting to me. But yeah, I should use Synthesis here, and it's not the end of the world, just because I knew... From the get-go, like, my win cons were still my win cons in a sense. Like, nothing changed. Nothing was like, oh, I have to win with Gourgeist now, you know? I have to stall everything out with Gourgeist. It never worked out that way. Let's see. Trying to think here. Yeah, Gourgeist's, game plan was basically to block Keldeo. Same thing with Vaporeon, because that was the thing I was most worried about. But I think... Like, in the Vooper game, I was practicing against Centiskorch, and that didn't turn out that well, just because he didn't bring Centiskorch, and then, like, some of my prep kind of killed me. But I think here, not bringing Keldeo actually hurt my opponent more, just because I feel like it was still useful, even if I had strong resist against it. Arcanine was really interesting, just because I didn't have really anything that hits Arcanine or Charizard. He could have brought Double Fire, and I would have been in huge trouble. Like, if he brought, like... defensive Charizard with Roost, and then brought like Banded Arcanine, I might have lost from team preview. Like that's how dangerous maybe fire types are to my team. Just because I think, especially in this generation, they all have coverage of some sort. All the fire types, like Centiskorch has Power Whip, has Bug type moves. Arcanine has Wall Charge. It always did. Charizard's more viable with heavy duty boots now, so it also, if it gets Sun support, it gets Solar Beam. So you know. Wishing here is fine. Protecting, because I assumed he was Scarfed. Choiced, at least. And then, a Volt Switch did around 50, so it's kind of like how I roost against Rotoms sometime. But then this doing 72. Is that Expert Belt, maybe? That might be Expert Belt. Let me check Expert Belt. Because that wasn't Specs. That was my issue. It wasn't Specs. Expert Belt would only do 56 to 66, though. Expert Modest? But he was see, he was choiced. That's the thing. He was choiced, but... I wish here was stupid. Like, just because the setup was so obvious, or it was so obvious for me to protect, so I shouldn't have protected. Because I'm so low. And sure, if you had Shadow Sneak, like, I lose Vaporeon, like, that's okay. But protecting here is fine. Iron Head, that's fine. Scald. This burn didn't really matter in the long run, because he couldn't outspeed Hydreigon. I was bringing Hydreigon in. Like, maybe it limited his choice of fodder. Just because, like, if he had Aegislash around, this made Aegislash useless, right? The burn. But if I didn't get the burn off, like, maybe he sacked Runerigus, and then he could bring Aegislash in on, like, Gourgeist, I might be losing Mormons. That's the only really scenario I see. Like, I don't think it mattered. It might have mattered a bit, but I think maybe Kevin was sacking here always. So Dark Pulse here, yeah, Dark Pulse takes this down. Celebi, the thing is, Celebi, I got really paranoid just because like bringing Celebi in on Hydreigon it looked scary to me just because even though I knew that Celebi couldn't do anything to Hydreigon, like I was worried if this was like Colbur and then like I don't know, I was gonna go for like a U-turn or something and then like do damage. Like U-turn was probably like his only play if he had it. But Corviknight was just the overall safe play. Like, I could have stayed in with Hydreigon easily. He goes into Arcanine here. I kind of wanted to see what he did, so I agility'd. This, I assumed would wall. But seeing it was Toxic. Toxic was a good play. Like, I don't know if that was a read or not, but it was smart anyways, just because I wouldn't stay in. Just because, like, looking at the moves that I've shown, like, Bulk of Power Whip, Power Trip, not Whip, Agility, like, maybe I have, like, Brave Bird in the back, but I wouldn't want to stay in and get burned, potentially. So, switching out, like, Toxic was almost free there. And, like, the only thing that gets hit by Toxic was Hydreigon, funnily enough. This was an easy play for me. Like, the Avalugg is fine, just because it does counter this in a sense. But since I'm special and just like, this just takes it out. Like, it doesn't really counter it. If I was physical Hydreigon, yeah. But yeah. U-turn, I really wasn't, like, here I realized that, let me see. I know I'm making this just a video longer, but who cares? It's not going to be over 30 minutes. Yeah, like here, I realized like my play before on switching out on Celebi was kind of stupid, so I just U-turned just to kind of see what Kevin would go for. I was really surprised to see I was faster though, just because I feel like it should be max speed, especially because my speed tier is right below yours. So you could just outspeed me 100% of the time unless I was Scarfed. Maybe he thought I was Scarfed, maybe that's why. But it turns out I wasn't. I was Chople. I let this go down just because this was now... Gorgas was now useless with Avalugg gone. And Gorgas was completely useless. Like, funny enough, my lead of Abomasnow might have been actually subpar, seeing what he did. Like, if he threw out Toxic Spike and Stealth Rock, if I Magic Coded turn 1, like, that was huge for me. Getting a Poison in on, like, Arcanine, when I have no status, that's huge. I'm going to Hydreigon here because I calced it, and this should kill. Like, even if it didn't kill, I think my play was to go into Duosion and then kind of kill it off. This killed, I go into Duosion anyways, so there's that. Runerigas comes in, I go into Bombsnow just because it's safer, like, I don't want to get Shadow Clawed. I get the Poison off, which is kind of funny because he went for the Will-O-Wisp, and it really didn't matter just because the only thing that get hit by Will-O-Wisp is Corviknight. In reality, I set up an Aurora Veil, tries the Will-O-Wisp again, he kind of sacks this off. I feel like that might have been the play, but it's really hard against, you should have went for an attack against the Bombsnow, just because I could set up Veil and then start, like, building momentum again. But my first Veil was just kind of like, meh, it was just kind of out there. Oh, was my first Veil up? Was that it? For the Toxicity? Am I stupid? Where is it? Volt Switch. So what turn am I on? I'll find it later, but... yeah, it was probably Veil. That makes sense. So he was probably Specs, yeah. I just forgot about my Veil. I let this go down just because now this is useless because Poison type, Fire type, you know, Abomasnow has weaknesses. Too many. Going to Corv just because I'm like, you know what, I'll win with Corv. Like, Duosion or Hydreigon was easily the safer play just because if I get burned here, I have to switch out anyways and then I lose a turn of Veil. But with 5 turns remaining, it's not the end of the world. I can roost up here because I still have Veil up. I'm really curious about what his last move was. If it was like Wild Charge or if it was like Teleport. Teleport would have been interesting. But I don't see Kevin using much momentum like U-turn and stuff, so I wasn't sure. Power Trip that. This doesn't die to a Power Trip, I knew that much. And he had to lock into something, so... 40 turns is actually pretty small, I feel. Well, for me at least, but... I don't know, the game felt shorter than 40 turns, so... To them, their own. Anyways, that's it. Week 8, we take a win, so we're 5-3. I haven't really checked the standings lately. I know it was 4-3, and probably a lot of people. Let me check them now. I'm making this video long just because we can. Getting messages, but I'm ignoring them. Where's the master doc? Oh, standings. Clicked on draft by accident. I was in 6th, so now I'm 5-3. Who else played? Exus and someone, right? Exus and Will. And Will lost. I remember that much. Where's Exus? He's 4-4. Will's 4-4. And then Jacob would be, no, not Jacob. Kevin would be 1-7 now. So there's 5 people below me at least. RSSP will be below. So I'm still in the top half. We'll put it that way. I'm pretty sure I'll still be in the top half. Worst I think I'll do is 6th. Because I know some people might be facing, I know this is like a huge video now, but Morgan, she's facing Vooper. Yeah, so I think worst case for me is that, especially because I'll be at a 12 differential, the worst case for me would be that I get 6th, I stay at 6th, and yeah, like 6th is still fine, like top 8 make playoffs, so I'm pretty sure, I'm confident I will make playoffs. I don't know as what seed, and I don't know who I really want to face against. Like, still the league is kind of like in motion, and everyone's so close, so you can't really predict your opponent. But yeah, so now we're 5-3, as I said. We're now at a 12 differential. I don't know who got the kills. Corviknight got 2, and then Abomasnow got 1. Who got this one? Hydreigon. So 3 kills Hydreigon, 2 kills Corviknight, 1 kill Abomasnow, which is pretty cool. And yeah, next week we're facing Golden. It's gonna be a tough match. Dragapult and Toxapex. Like, who let him draft that, man? I'm pretty sure he was before me, anyways. I'm eating the ice. This is probably gonna be a really bad idea. But yeah. Okay. I'll see you guys next week.